Debunk the 5 most common diabetes diet myths. What if everything you thought you knew about a diabetes diet was wrong? Yes, those strict rules and endless restrictions might actually be holding you back. Think about it. Have you ever been told to ditch all sugar, avoid carbs like the plague, or stick to an impossible diabetes diet? It's exhausting, isn't it? But here's the kicker. These myths aren't just unhelpful. They could be sabotaging your progress. Now imagine this. Eating foods you enjoy, regaining control over your blood sugar, and finally feeling empowered, not restricted. Sounds too good to be true? It's not. In this video, we'll expose the biggest lies about diabetes diets and reveal practical science-backed strategies to transform the way you eat. No more confusion, no more fear, just clarity and results. But don't take my word for it. Stick around, because by the end, you'll have the tools to separate fact from fiction and create a lifestyle that works for you. Ready to challenge everything you've been told? Let's dive in. What is a diabetes diet? Managing diabetes isn't just about medication. It's about understanding the profound role diet plays in your journey. A well-planned diabetes diet isn't a punishment, but rather a blueprint for living healthier and feeling better. Imagine swapping processed snacks for vibrant meals packed with superfoods for diabetes. It's not about restriction, it's about transformation. But let's be clear. No two bodies are the same, which is why personalized recommendations are the gold standard. Yes, your friend's success with a low-carb miracle might inspire you, but only a healthcare professional can tailor a diet that fits like a glove. Navigating diabetes without guidance is like wandering through a maze blindfolded. General advice, like focusing on foods that lower your blood sugar or following a diet to lower A1C, is helpful, but professional input refines the approach. Think of a dietitian as your personal coach, curating meals that balance flavor and blood sugar levels. Foods to reduce blood sugar don't have to be boring. Imagine cinnamon-spiced oatmeal or roasted veggies with a hint of garlic. It's about finding joy in eating while staying in control. Of course, we all love quick fixes. Who doesn't dream of a quick way to lower blood sugar after a sugary indulgence? While there are many tricks floating around, like miracle supplements for blood sugar control, don't fall for the hype. Sustainable changes start with understanding the core of a balanced diabetes diet. Focus on real, whole foods. Superfoods for diabetes, such as leafy greens, berries, and seeds, aren't just trendy. They're tiny powerhouses designed to work for you. It's also worth remembering that healthy eating isn't a one-size-fits-all deal. Some swear by foods to control blood sugar, like lentils or quinoa, while others find success with different combinations. The trick lies in experimenting with professional guidance until you find your rhythm. There's no shame in trying different approaches. Imagine crafting meals with love, knowing they're fueling your health, not adding to your worries. So here's the takeaway. A diabetes diet isn't about deprivation, it's about empowerment. Think of it as a toolkit filled with foods that lower your blood sugar and help you take control of your life. And guess what? You're not alone on this path. Speaking of misconceptions, let's dive into one of the most common myths about diabetes. Spoiler alert, it's not all about avoiding sugar entirely. Myth 1. All sugar is bad for diabetes. It's easy to think that all sugar is the villain in a diabetes story, but the truth is more nuanced. Not all sugars are created equal, and understanding this can be a game changer. Processed sugars, like those lurking in sodas and candies, are the real troublemakers, causing blood sugar spikes that feel like a roller coaster ride. But natural sugars? Well, they're a different ballgame. Think of the sweetness in an apple or a handful of berries. Not just delicious, but packed with antioxidants for diabetics and nutrients that support overall health. Here's the thing. It's not just about what you eat, but how much you eat. Portion control is the unsung hero of managing diabetes. An orange might be a superfood for diabetes, but eating 3 in one sitting could still push your blood sugar levels higher than you'd like. Balance is the name of the game. Use tools like the glycemic index to understand how different foods impact your levels. For example, strawberries have a lower glycemic load than bananas. Both are healthy, but moderation and timing are key. Let's also bust another myth while we're at it. Natural sugars don't mean a free pass to binge. Even superfoods for diabetes need to be enjoyed thoughtfully. A smoothie made with spinach, almond milk, and a touch of fruit can be a nutrient-packed delight, but piling on sugary fruits and honey could sabotage your efforts. The secret? Combine natural sugars with proteins or healthy fats to slow absorption and keep your energy steady. But let's not demonize desserts altogether. Life is meant to be savored. Craving something sweet? Consider alternatives like Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of cinnamon. which is known for its role in foods that lower blood sugar, or bake with ingredients like almond flour and a dash of stevia for a treat that doesn't feel like a compromise. Living with diabetes doesn't mean abandoning joy. It's about redefining indulgence in smarter, healthier ways. Now that we've cleared up the sugar confusion, let's tackle another big misconception: carbs. You've probably heard that they're a no-go for diabetics, but guess what? That's far from the full story. Myth number 2. You have to avoid all carbs. Carbs often get a bad rap in the world of diabetes, but let's set the record straight. They're not your enemy. In fact, carbohydrates are a vital energy source for every single cell in your body, including your brain. The key lies in choosing the right ones. Simple carbs, like those in white bread or pastries, might send your blood sugar soaring. But complex carbs, found in whole grains and legumes, are like a steady, reliable fuel. Think quinoa, brown rice, or lentils. These foods to reduce blood sugar are more than just tasty. They're essential. The fear of carbs often leads to extreme avoidance, but this can backfire. Eliminating them entirely could leave you fatigued, cranky, and craving all the wrong things. Instead, think of it as upgrading your choices. Foods like sweet potatoes, packed with fiber and antioxidants for diabetics, provide lasting energy without the dreaded sugar crash. Pair them with a lean protein like grilled chicken, or a plant-based option like tofu for a balanced plate that keeps blood sugar in check. Let's talk strategy. Portion control is just as important here as it is with sugar. A handful of whole grain crackers with some hummus can be a great snack, but a mountain of pasta? Not so much. Learn to eyeball servings. Imagine a portion of rice the size of a tennis ball or a slice of bread roughly the size of your hand. It's not about deprivation. It's about finding that sweet spot where carbs work for you, not against you. And here's a pro tip. Timing matters. Eating carbs earlier in the day, when your body is more insulin sensitive, can make a big difference. For breakfast, opt for oatmeal sprinkled with chia seeds, a superfood for diabetes, topped with a few fresh berries. Not only does this combination help regulate blood sugar, but it also provides a satisfying start to your day that keeps you energized for hours. Now that we've unmasked the truth about carbs, it's time to debunk another dangerous myth: the idea that starving yourself is a solution. Spoiler alert, it's not, and it could even make things worse. Myth 3. You need to starve yourself. The notion that starving yourself is the key to controlling diabetes couldn't be further from the truth. Skipping meals or drastically cutting calories might seem like a quick way to lower blood sugar, but in reality, it can wreak havoc on your body. When you deprive yourself, your blood sugar can swing wildly, leaving you fatigued, irritable, and vulnerable to binging on unhealthy foods later. Balanced meals, spread consistently throughout the day, are the foundation of any diet to lower A1C effectively. Think of your body like a car. It needs regular fueling to run smoothly. A healthy snack between meals, like a handful of almonds or a slice of avocado toast, can do wonders for stabilizing your levels. These foods to control blood sugar not only curb hunger but also provide essential nutrients. Skipping meals, on the other hand, forces your body into survival mode, which could lead to increased cravings and erratic energy levels. Maintaining a healthy weight is important for managing diabetes, but it's not about eating less. It's about eating smart. Meals rich in lean proteins, complex carbs, and healthy fats can help you feel full and nourished without overloading your system. For instance, a bowl of quinoa salad with grilled salmon and a drizzle of olive oil isn't just delicious. It's a powerhouse meal that supports blood sugar control. Let's also bust the myth that smaller portions always mean better health. It's not just about how much you eat, but what you eat. Foods that lower blood sugar, like leafy greens, nuts, and seeds, should be staples on your plate. Instead of focusing on eating less, focus on eating right. Incorporate superfoods for diabetes into your meals, like spinach, chia seeds, or even a sprinkle of cinnamon over your morning coffee. The idea here isn't deprivation, it's balance. Starving yourself sets you up for failure, both mentally and physically. But what about sweet cravings? Are artificial sweeteners the safe escape hatch they claim to be? Let's find out in the next section. Myth 4. Artificial sweeteners are a safe substitute. Artificial sweeteners often wear the disguise of a guilt-free alternative. But are they truly the saints of the diabetes world? Not always. While they might not spike your blood sugar immediately, some sweeteners come with potential long-term risks, like impacting gut health or triggering cravings for more sugary foods. Remember, just because a product says sugar-free doesn't mean it's healthy. Reading labels carefully is your first line of defense. Awareness is key to making smarter choices. Let's break it down. Not all artificial sweeteners are created equal. For example, aspartame and saccharin have faced scrutiny for their possible health implications. On the other hand, natural substitutes like stevia or monk fruit extract are often better options for diabetics. These alternatives not only sweeten your dishes, but also align more closely with a balanced diet to lower A1C. Imagine stirring a touch of monk fruit into your tea instead of reaching for that sugar packet. Small swaps can make a big difference. The real trick is moderation. Overloading your diet with sugar substitutes can create a false sense of security and lead to overconsumption of processed foods. Instead, focus on exploring ways to manage sweet cravings naturally. For instance, a bowl of Greek yogurt with a drizzle of honey or a few slices of apple sprinkled with cinnamon can satisfy your sweet tooth while providing antioxidants for diabetics. Balance is everything. It's also worth considering that reducing your dependency on sweetness altogether could be a game changer. Retraining your palate to enjoy the natural flavors of foods that lower blood sugar, like fresh fruits or roasted nuts, is a healthier and more sustainable strategy. Over time, you might find that you don't miss those sugary stand-ins as much as you thought. So, while artificial sweeteners might seem like a quick fix, they're not always the safest bet. The good news? You don't need to stick to rigid rules or one-size-fits-all solutions. In fact, let's tackle another widespread myth, the idea that there's a single diabetes diet everyone must follow. Myth 5. You need to follow a specific diabetes diet. The idea of a one-size-fits-all diabetes diet is not only outdated, it's misleading. Every person with diabetes has unique needs, preferences, and health goals. While some might thrive on a low-carb plan, others find success by focusing on foods to reduce blood sugar, like leafy greens and legumes. The magic lies in personalization. Working with healthcare professionals to craft a tailored plan is like having a custom map for your health journey. No generic list of do's and don'ts can match that level of precision. What works for one person might not work for another, and that's perfectly fine. A diet to lower A1C for someone active and athletic may look vastly different from one designed for a sedentary lifestyle. Think of it this way: a teacher and an athlete both need lesson plans, but their materials won't look the same. Similarly, foods that lower your blood sugar, like nuts, seeds, and berries, can be included in countless ways, depending on your lifestyle. It's also important to account for personal preferences. Nobody sticks to a plan they hate. Love pasta? Whole grain options paired with a veggie-rich sauce can be a part of your routine. Enjoy a sweet breakfast? Swap sugary cereals for oatmeal topped with almonds and a hint of cinnamon. These small but meaningful changes make your meals enjoyable and effective. After all, consistency is what matters most. Another thing to consider is sustainability. Fad diets might promise quick results, but they're rarely a long-term solution. Supplements for blood sugar control can complement your plan, but they're not a replacement for real whole foods. The focus should be on creating habits that align with your health goals and fit seamlessly into your life. This way, you're not just following a diet, you're building a lifestyle. So forget rigid rules and embrace flexibility. The best foods for diabetics are the ones that work for you, tailored to your needs and preferences. And speaking of myths, wouldn't it be empowering to break free from these misconceptions altogether? Let's wrap everything up and dive into what all this really means for your journey to better health. You've made it to the end, but this is just the beginning of transforming how you approach your diabetes diet. So, what's your next move? Will you keep following outdated myths, or will you take charge and apply what you've learned? The power is in your hands. Start by incorporating foods that lower your blood sugar into your meals, or experimenting with superfoods for diabetes that fit your lifestyle. What if you tried one small change today? Maybe it's swapping your sugary snack for a handful of nuts, or exploring how cinnamon can flavor your meals while supporting blood sugar control. These aren't just tips, they're stepping stones toward a healthier, more vibrant life. What would happen if you actually enjoyed your meals while managing your diabetes? Now let me ask you, which of these myths have you believed for far too long? And how will you challenge them starting today? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story and see how this resonates with you. Finally, don't let this journey stop here. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next step in mastering your health. Together, we'll keep breaking myths, building better habits, and embracing a lifestyle that works for you. Ready to take the leap? Let's do this.